Mhm. Hello, hello. Love is straight in the camp. Hello. Hope you're doing okay. My eyes are on you, and it is with. I hope you can hear me. But if I'm not, even my eyes see, and this mountain is in front of them, them still through it all. My eyes are on you, through it all, through it all. It is well, through it all, through it all. My eyes are on you, and it is well, it is well. Oh, my soul, trusting the winds and winds still know it is love and trusting the winds and winds still know it. So let go, my soul, and trust in the winds and winds still know His name. The winds and winds know His name. It with my soul. It is with my it is with my soul. It is well my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with his with my soul. It will, it will, my soul. It will, with my, it is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. Hello. I hope everybody's okay today. I got two people that suffered through my singing. Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, through it all, it is well. Through it all, through it all, my eyes are on you. It is well with me. I had to get through this song, y'all. I had to get through this song. So, hey, 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 I hope everybody's okay. Thank you for the one person who suffered through it all. um, Happy Sunday. Uh, Happy afternoon, Sunday, 2020, 2020. So, I had that song on my heart. I had it on my heart for a few days now. It is January 5th, and a lot has been going on. So I don't know who's going to be here, but I just wanted to get on because it's Sunday, and normally it's my down day where I really don't do anything. So I figured let me get on the live. And the reason why I brought this song up is because I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, got some things going on in your life, and this song really just I just had it in my spirit, and I'm hoping that it ministers to you as much as it has been to me because. I'm going to talk about briefly what's been going on, but incidentally, I was coming back home on New Year's Eve, traveling most of the day, and some things transpired with a relationship, and it has come to my attention that I'm going to have to, at least momentarily, part ways from a relationship that I have nurtured and have been, pouring into this person, being, in my mind, a good friend, a good motherly figure. Um, Tried my best to show this person, to model what a good person is, what a good woman is, what it means to be a woman, to be a mother to that person and mother them. And it has kind of been brought to my attention that it wasn't appreciated. And I have to make a decision to step away from the relationship for now. And even though you make decisions that you think are in your best interest, because conserving your energy, really not bringing negativity in your life, in your space, if you value that, then you know that sometimes you have to make the harsh decision to step away from a relationship. But even though you know doing the right thing is right for you, is best for you, it still doesn't feel good. So I have been kind of battling with that, trying not to get too emotional about it, but and along is not just that person, but um, there's collateral damage, and whenever there are people who are innocent that don't deserve to be caught up in that, but it just has to be that way. Um, it's sad. It's sad. So right now I'm sad. I've been sad for a few days and really was waiting for a good time to come on camera. And so that song has been on my mind and on my heart for the last few days. And I don't believe in being stingy, so I feel like if I needed to hear that song, that maybe somebody else needed to hear that song, that it will be okay. It's gonna be fine. So I know that a lot has been going on in these YouTube streets, and oh, I'm cold. And I was speaking to Dee Dee Love, through comments regarding what has transpired for what had transpired on New Year's Eve. And I said, well, I really, she wanted to know my thoughts on it. And I said, I'm really going to have to give it some thought because, to be honest, a lot of people are talking about it. And of course, I have my initial opinions, my current opinions, and I just came to the deciding factor that it really didn't matter what I thought, but I did want to have something to say, because, again, I really want to go back to a teachable moment and the bigger picture. And so, although I don't really want to talk about particulars, I did go to church today, and I wrote tons of notes, because what was talked about today was really, I was like, you know what? This is how I'm going to respond. Because, again, I never want to talk about the person per se, but I do want to talk about the behavior, because you can take any person out of a situation and plug yourself in it, plug your own relationship issues, plug anybody in. Like, the people don't matter. It's the subject matter that matters. And so I'm just going to take a page of the sermon, the message I heard today. I did not use any scriptures, so this is not a religious thing. Um, I heard it in church, and what I did is I took the message and I put it in notes. So I'm going to be reading out of my notes. And hello, because I see three people. So I'm saying hello to everyone that's walked in the room. And I'm taking it into a practical situation. And so, for those of you, I'm not going to be responding right now to anyone that made comments. So I'm just going to say hello for anyone that enters the room. And I want to really just look at my notes and just kind of talk from the notes that I came up with, because I think what I have to say, what was said today, and how I transferred it to how this is really real time with what's going on, what has transpired in the last several days, really hit home to me. So the questions were posed for, the question was posed that is 2020, and I'm reading from my notes. So if I'm looking this way, you'll see I'm reading from my notes. Is 2020 going to be a new day or just another day in the neighborhood? Okay, so let's use this in the reference of the YT streets, the YT neighborhood. Is 2020 going to be business as usual or an unusually beautiful situation? And that life and death is in the power of the tongue, and in a lot of ways, we have a lot to do with what is said. So the life that you put out there in the way you speak, or the death that you put out there in the way you speak, we have those, we pose that. So these are all rhetorical questions. And that for 2020, if you want to make a change, you have to need to make a new decision, you have a need to take a new direction, and you have a need to partake in a new dedication. And what was put up with new dedication is putting your time and energy into other avenues. So other positive things that are going to flow back, and the energy, that positive energy you put out, the positive energy you put back in. Now, this can be pouring into the emotional relationships, physical relationships, meaning person to person. It can be your spiritual relationship, and that before there's any type of conversion, meaning before there's any type of revelation, there's always conviction. So it was posed that 2020 be the year of conviction. And what does that mean? All right. And what was brought into the year of conviction was that there was a lot of discussion being taught, but what I pulled out of it that I thought had a really great analogy with what I've seen that's happened in the last several days is that there's been infighting, there have been lines drawn in the sand, and that there has been people who are split and feel very justified in their position. And so I see a lot of that. Like I said, I'm pulling out from the message and bringing it back to here. That there's a lot of infighting. There are a lot of subscribers and content creators that have just a lot of infighting. There is a lot of, I would say, revelations of thought, where people now are seem very polar opposites. They're polar this way or they're polar that way, and that they are very staunchly into their position of what they feel is right. So, um, It was said that conviction is letting your heart know, is letting into your heart what you know is right or and wrong. And I have said this before. There have been a lot of things that have been done that have crossed the line. There are a lot of things that have been done where you have to have felt conviction that that was not the right thing to do or something was wrong. And just because something isn't illegal doesn't mean it's right. And I've said that many, many times where, sure, maybe something had not boiled down to an altercation, but it could have. And, I think of what I want my mom to know I did something, what I want my husband to know I'm conducting myself in a certain way. Like, just because you're not breaking a law doesn't necessarily mean that what you're doing is the right thing to do. And that's how I've always kind of led my answer when, or led my opinion when I've said something. Yeah, but lines have been getting crossed more and more. If you would think about it, people are pushing the limits, people are pushing boundaries, people are taking things too far. All right. And so, like I said, I wrote a lot of notes. And so, um, this all requires a lot of, hey, Felicia Fee, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling okay. I'm just talking. I'm just talking. So there's a lot of personal reflection and individual accountability that needs to be had. I'm my own person. I can't tell anybody what to do. I can't tell anybody how to feel. We have free will and we have to conduct ourselves accordingly. And so, um, thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs up. And so, what was being said was there's kind of three steps going saying forward. Oh, good. Thank you. I'm glad you're listening. There's three steps to go forward, to move forward, and there's three steps that you can go the other way. I don't want to say backwards, but you're either moving towards a better you or a more growth in yourself, or you're staying stuck or you're stagnant. Let's put it that way. Like I said, I'm trying to not make this a religious thing. I'm trying to put this in practical use. So the three steps was conviction, which is knowing what you know is to be right or wrong, to comply, which means being in agreement. And that means once you know what's right or wrong, it's then making a choice of doing what you know is right or wrong. Because you can feel conviction in something. Thank you for the thumbs up. You can feel conviction in something, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to comply or be in agreement with what you're convicted on. And a lot of times that comply, hi, 3 Princess 75, that com being in compliance sometimes comes with an aha moment. Sometimes it comes with a life-changing moment. I would like to say that we hear the whispers, which is that nudge or that whisper in the back of your mind that says, you know you shouldn't have done that. You know you shouldn't have said that. More often than not, that does not get our attention. Okay? We're human beings, we're knuckleheads in many ways. Sometimes we just don't listen. And sometimes those life changing moments is where we make our choice. And then the last part of that was compensation, which was considered blessings. So once you have, if you're moving towards something, you have a conviction about what you know to do, what is right and wrong, you make that decision that, okay, I know what the right thing is to do. I'm going to do what's right. And then your compensation is the blessing of doing what you know is right to do. It may not be, they say that doing the right thing isn't, um, what they say, there's a saying that doing the right thing isn't easy, but it's simple. Because we all know a lot of times what the right thing is to do, but it's a simple task, but it's not always easy because our emotions and our ego and all of that gets in the way of doing what we know is right. All right, so that's the one side. And then the other way is still comes with conviction, knowing what's right or wrong. And then what ends up happening is that you have complacency. And complacency, the other word for complacency is self satisfaction. You are stuck in your excuses. You are being complacent, meaning that you are stuck in where you want to stay. Yeah, I know what I should do, but anytime you have that but, that means you're stuck, right? And also, complacency is again not listening to that prompting, not listening to that voice that is telling you, you need to clean up your act. You know what you just did wasn't right. Where's the integrity? And that's what I also have. Very good, because I have that in there. Where is that nudge where you're going to listen, but your ego gets in the way. Your ego gets in the way of with your emotions. Your ego gets in the way. Pride. Your ego gets in the way of I ain't gonna be nobody's punk. um Fill in the blanks, fill in the colloquialisms, fill in all that. But the complacency comes with self-sabotage. Even that's also complacency. And then what comes after your complacency is your cost. Okay, cost is not heeding to the conviction. Your cost comes when you don't heed to the conviction, that whisper that you keep hearing about what's right and what's wrong. And that when you don't heed to the conviction, it is always going to cost you. It's going to cost you sometimes your life. It's going to cost you sometimes your freedom. It's going to cost you sometimes your reputation. It's going to cost you sometimes financially when we don't listen. And it can also cost relationships. All those things can be a cost, um, because you stay stuck in your self-satisfaction. And self-satisfaction can just be you know in church that says in your flesh, but sometimes it's just your kind of your knee-jerk first reaction. Somebody cusses me out and I'm going to cuss them out. Well, that costs you. Someone you're trying to do tit for tat, that can cost you. And unfortunately, the way the universe works, I always tell my children this: you don't once you put something out in the atmosphere, you don't get the right you don't get the right to control how the reaction comes out. So with your words, always be careful. I mean, we're human. We're not without error. But when you just say what you want to say and you do what you want to do and you put all that out in the atmosphere, once you release it, you don't get the control how people respond. You don't get to control what the consequences are. And I would tell my kids that would be, one of the things I would tell them, I can't protect you from the world, because once you step out of my four walls of the safety of our home, and you now have to deal with how the world is going to respond. Everybody is not going to respond the way you want them or the way you expect. And especially if it's going to cost you your freedom, you don't get to um, control how the law is going to treat you, you know? And so that's always been my thing of what is the cost? And a lot of times when we do things impulsively, we have no idea how much it's going to cost us. So um, the good thing is that you can always come back, generally speaking, unless it costs you your life. You can always come back from a bad decision, and that 2020 can be your best year of blessings, or it can be your year of great cost. So you can get the best payoff of your year. This can be your best year of blessings and having a payoff, or it can be your year of great cost. And a lot of it, we have to acknowledge that there is ownership in that, and always thinking that there's always another choice. And so that's what I got out of the message today. Um, there was also that's right, you still have a choice. Thank you. You still have a choice. And there was one name, I had never heard this name before, but I had to mention this because I have it here and it's circled and red in my notes. And I'm going to read it on my own, but one of the parts of the message was from an a man named Demas, Demas, and it was taken out of Galatians 1 and 10. And what was said is Demas was drawn to being popular, that he wanted to be popular, that was his validation, that he wanted to be popular. And one of the things that I wrote and underlined that my pastor said was, popularity of the world will take you out. And I said, I mean, that was like woof. And went on to that, but it stuck with me. And it's popularity of the world will take you out. And I thought, wow, doesn't that say a lot? We have a lot of nifty sayings, a click and a view. We're gonna do stuff for a click and a view. We're gonna beef for dollars. Yes, popularity and ego will lead to destruction. And we got a lot of, I'm gonna do it for the coin. We say here on YouTube. There's a couple of other ones, and I thought, wow, that is something else. Because, like I said, just because it's not illegal doesn't necessarily make it right. And popularity of your subscribers, popularity for other content creators. There are a lot of people that are hunting down popularity. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't have a healthy dose of camaraderie. That's different. Having camaraderie with your fellow co-workers at work, or you're having camaraderie with people on your block, in your neighborhood, camaraderie with people at church, or whatever social things that you do. There's nothing wrong with having camaraderie. That's completely different than seeking popularity. And again, that takes a lot of reflection, and that takes some stepping back and really doing a personal inventory of what you're doing, what you're putting out, and what you're taking in. So that's all I got. That's all I have. That is how I'm going to answer what has transpired, because it really gave me a chance for myself to ask more questions than give statements. Like, I could state my opinion about a certain situation with a certain particular person, but make no mistake, what has happened on New Year's Eve could have happened any other time before New Year's Eve. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And if people keep going in a place of not being mindful of the words they choose and the actions that they take against other people, I hate to say it, but I think more of this is going to happen. And what has really surprised me is the level of, this is not an isolated situation. It's not an isolated situation. That there are people that are willing to do things that are not in their best interests to be seen. I think that's the only way I can say it nicely. Um, there are people that want to be seen, whether it is whether it is a subscriber that wants to get a content creator's attention, or if it's other content creators that are competing for subscribers, competing to get alliances. I can see that if changes aren't made, that things can possibly blow up. 318 Princess 75, competitions breeds a jealous spirit, and that is what's happening on all social media platforms. Well, I would put it in the context that there is nothing wrong with healthy competition. And when I mean healthy competition, I mean, well, if you're competing with the idea of I'm going to be here and I'm going to take someone down, I guess that could be it. And not having a healthy competition can be a jealousy involved. But I mean, I think competition is wonderful. I mean, listen, let's put it out there. We've got, let's just say we have more than one daytime talk show. We have more than one nighttime talk show. We have more than one news network. We have more than one sports channel. We have more than one night 30-minute comedy show. There's nothing wrong with competition. I always feel like there's plenty of room at the table and that there's abundance. So when we talk about competition, I don't mind that my fellow content creator might be talking about the same thing I am. We're coming from different angles and we're coming with different experiences and different delivery. So it's healthy to hear more than one person's opinion. It's healthy to, I mean, I have no idea how many videos have been made about the New Year's Eve event, but I know that it's been quite a few. And I know that one YouTuber has done more than one video on the subject. So having competition there's nothing wrong. I mean, it's the problem that some people feel like it's a, I don't know how to put it in words, but I do understand what you're saying, that there's a sense of jealousy. And I would even say it, I would even say more than just sense of jealousy. I think there is dare I say, an inflated sense of ego, not a healthy sense of ego. There's nothing wrong with being confident in yourself and there's nothing wrong with having a strong sense of who you are. As a fully functioning adult, you should have a good, healthy sense of self confidence and know who you are so that you're not led astray. And I see that sometimes people are being led astray. There's kind of a mob action of sorts going on in thought, and a mob action source of if you are not with what I think, I can't deal with you. I'm seeing that. And so, I don't have to agree with somebody else's ideas, but it's their ideas and from their experiences. So, but not necessarily what I would agree on, whatever that might be. And I haven't said anything in specifics, but we can all have our thoughts and opinions out and don't have to annihilate someone else just because they have a thought. And that I do realize that people come with thoughts with different set of ideals and different set of standards, and not necessarily what I would agree on, but I'm not trying to knock somebody down for their thought. So, but I thought that, even with what I'm going through personally, I'm having to step back and really reflect and think about, what it is I have to acknowledge about myself, and what I do and the choices I make and what I say. And for me, it's very much a cautionary tale. If nothing else comes from the New Year's Eve situation, let this be a cautionary tale for those who have considered, who have thought, or have already put themselves in a situation where you would not have control of the outcome. And whether that be in the YouTube land or even in your own personal life outside, think about what you have done that could have put you in a jam. And then now be convicted of that and make the decision, make the choice to turn that around. You can turn it around. As long as you're still breathing, you have the choice and you have the opportunity to turn things around. Now, with some things come at a cost, but even the cost, sometimes there is a blessing in the cost, because some of us have to lose something in order to gain something greater. So even though a cost sounds like a bad thing on the surface, sometimes you have to lose something to understand that that might be your blessing. That can be your turnaround. So I wanted to get that out. Hopefully somebody can hear this and maybe feel convicted in something, maybe have a different outlook or a different outtake on anything that you're going through in life. Because, like I said, I didn't want to do anything specific, but we all have something that we can work on, relationship wise, things that we're working on in our life. And I just thought that, kind of piggyback from what's going on in New Year's Eve and the message that I heard. I really hope that um, it's taken to heart, and maybe you've learned something. And on the replay, if you catch this on the replay, maybe you can teach me something and tell me what you've learned from it, because it's, for me, it's all about growth, and it's all about, I want to be mindful of what I say, um, because I do feel like I have a responsibility. When I talk to my family and my friends, I give great consideration on how I speak to them and what I say to them. I don't go with the intention on hurting people's feelings. And so when I come here and I want to talk to you guys, I want to come with the intention of being mindful that I am being considerate about what I'm saying, and that my intent is always to be positive, and my intent is always to provoke thought, and um, always come here with some kind of message that I can learn from. And if like I said, like today, I got so much from this message and I wanted to share it with you guys. So, although like I said, these are my notes that I took today. And I hope it was helpful. So, it is 45 minutes in. I want to say thank you for stopping by. I hope everybody's having a good day, going on into a good week. I want to say thank you so much for the thumbs up. It is always, always appreciated. And yeah, so it is the 5th, 14 days until the big day. My daughter just she just celebrated her 21st birthday on the 3rd. And my dog Milo, he's 2 years old today. Today is his birthday. And my sister's birthday is on the 8th. So for all the Capricorns, I want to say happy birthday to you guys. And, I'm just waiting around for Pisces season to show up. So uh, I'm just waiting patiently for Pisces season. But yeah, I just hope everybody has a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you so much. I hope that you guys have a wonderful week. I don't know if I'm going to be on camera and again this week, but I do like coming on live, but only because I got something to say. But yeah, so I'm going to end this. Oh, your birthday's on the 10th. Happy birthday, Felice Sophie. Obviously, what's the 10th? What day is the 10th? Do you know what day is the 10th? I can't think. What's today? What day is that? Oh, it's a Friday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you on Friday the 10th. I don't know if I'm going to be online. I just wanted to give you a birthday message now. All right. All right. So if I catch you out on the YouTube streets in the chat, I will definitely give you a birthday. You just got my birthday song. Yes, I'm glad you like it. So if I catch you out on Friday and you are, not turning up for your birthday, I will definitely wish you another happy birthday on Friday. But there's my birthday song to you. All right. So have a wonderful week. It's a brand new week. Start with brand new thoughts, with a good, positive outlook for the week. And I wish nothing but the best for you guys. As always, take care of yourself and each other, and you have a wonderful rest of the day. All right. Bye.